Hello, Esra. Thank you for agreeing to record this video with me today. It's part of our series of videos in the cost action that we are members of. So together we're members of, and it's based on your virtual mobility grant. So I would start by asking you, what is meant by green fintechs?
Hello, Wasil. At first, I want to thank you for inviting me this podcast. I am listening your podcast series. Actually, my first time for this type of recording. I'm very excited. And with your question, I can start and give a very short brief about what is the green fintech. You know, green finance or green economy, there is a slogan. This slogan is people, profit and planet. Very short and very good slogan. Actually, it is the same for green fintech. People, profit and planet. People, you know, it must be because it is based on people, and planet, it is green because, and also profit. All the firms, the main aim is maximizing profit. And how can it be? If you look at the technical definition of the green fintech, we say combining green and financial technologies. Also, we can say it is an initiative process or servicing designed to protect natural environment and support the transition to the sustainable low carbon world. It is main aim reducing carbon footprint and reducing depending on more fossil resources and achieving sustainable development goals like reducing poverty, improving human health, and reducing carbon economy, fossil economy to the renewable, sustainable economy. These are the main objective and definition of green fintech.
Thank you for the details, Esra. And I would now go and try to get more details from you. So basically, what would be the fintech tools that you think would support the growth of the green finance and the transition to a low carbon economy?
Yes, very good question. Actually, if you look at the financial technology or fintech, important technological tools are API, open banking, cryptocurrencies, blockchain, artificial intelligence, big data, and data analytics. These and smartphones, these are the very important tools for combining technology and finance. And if you look at the green fintech, actually recently, there are very few companies we can say, yes, it is absolutely green fintech. It is a very new term. Sometimes it can be confused with green tech, green technology, or clean technology. But when we consider all of them, green and financial technologies, we see green fintech. And I hope in the future, we will see many of the examples. Some of the companies like tomorrow, this company is calculating carbon footprint for the customers' products and some financial services. This is one, for example, of the companies, which is green fintech, we can say, or sharing companies, for example, car sharing companies, or Apple Pay, one example of fintech. And if it is also reducing carbon economy, or if it is reducing the energy wasting or efficiently energy, we say it is green fintech. And there are some conflicts. It can be or not be green and fintech. So it is important issue for debating it.
Thank you, Esra, for these details. And since you've mentioned all these technologies, I would go to a topic which is very hot these days, to the cryptocurrencies, and more exactly to the Bitcoin. So would you say that the Bitcoin is a green fintech?
Actually, you know, I am an academic people. Also, I'm writing some articles about cryptocurrencies and the major cryptocurrency Bitcoin. Actually, there are two different views in the literature. One side saying that yes, Bitcoin is green fintech, or it can be seen as green technology. The very big majority, second side, and it views that Bitcoin is not a green fintech. It is not actually, it is depending more carbon fossil energy. And if you look at the Bitcoin miners, you know, miners producing Bitcoins, and it uses more electricity energy. And this electricity energy depends mostly fossil resources. The most and very important debate started with China. China has the big sources about cryptocurrencies mining, and it has banned recently. And also it has started its digital currency. So if you look at the academic side, I can say Bitcoin is not a green fintech, but I must also say some of the reviews or academic people supporting Bitcoin, they are saying that if you look at the financial service like banking, like Visa, MasterCard, they are also creating or using more energy fossil, more than Bitcoin cryptocurrencies electricity consume. They are defending also maybe cryptocurrencies in the future will have an endless cash money. It means that very important, because if I know only Turkey, but in Turkey cash is using, but in recently it is decreasing, and also after the COVID-19, people prefer more touchless, not touchless economy, and they prefer touchless cards, debit cards, and something else. And maybe the people don't want to hold any cash money, physical money. And for producing physical money, also we have to cut trees, use paper, and it is not green. So in the future, cryptocurrencies can help for this aim, but we don't know when it can be, and maybe it can be with CBDC, Central Bank Digital Currency. And also Turkish Central Bank has started infrastructure for this aim. They had a pilot region, and maybe they will issue Turkish CBDC, for example. Turkish lira will maybe in the future depend on more virtual, not physical. So Bitcoin, as a result, in my academic literature review, we say it is not green, but its technology is green. Blockchain is very important. And if we look at the Turkish foreign trade companies and middle and medium-sized companies, they are started to use blockchain for foreign trade. It is very important because this company is not very related with fintech or green finance, because their size are very small, and also they have been affected much more COVID-19. And now they are have opportunities like blockchain or other new technology. Only big companies and rich companies related with green finance, green bonds, and it is very minor.
Thank you, Esra. And now I would go a little bit to the electricity consumption that you've mentioned earlier. So I think all across the world, but mainly in Europe, the price of energy is increasing these days. So I would ask you if, from the research you've made, if you have any insights to give us about the relationship between the income of the Bitcoin miners and the electricity consumption, since this might be important for assessing the greenness of Bitcoin.
Yes, actually also we have a research for virtual grants, this FinTech Cost Action, and we have started research about dynamic correlation between the Bitcoin's miners' revenue and Bitcoin electricity consumption. There are two variables, and we had a correlation parameter about them. And we couldn't resolve all of them, but we have preliminary results. I can share with you these. You know, Bitcoin's miners and hash rate consumes more electricity. Also, China has banned because of these, and also there are some other reasons. not only electric consumption, maybe not only green ideas, but it's also cryptocurrencies have very other effects. For example, in Turkey, if you look at some of the markets selling and buying cryptocurrency, they are not legal, and many of the people had suicide themselves, and also they lost many of the money because they sold their houses or cars and they invest on cryptocurrency. And for example, 2 days after, they lost everything, because also these companies, there is no company, cryptocurrency. Actually, it is a interesting topic. There are some risks and very big gains, and its technology is important. If you look at the environmental concern, we see Bitcoins, yes, we say imply positive correlation between income of Bitcoin miners and Bitcoin electricity consumption. Correlation is important, and we had applied DCC analysis, GARCH analysis for these two variables correlation. Actually, it was around 20 and 30 during 2014, but increased constantly until the end of 2017, and fluctuated heavily between 2017 and 2018. Actually, if we look at the very recent, this year after the COVID-19, when the Bitcoin price is very high, we say correlation is very high, because Bitcoin prices define the electricity consumption. When the price is higher, Bitcoin miners' revenue also increases, and they want to make more hash and more producing Bitcoin, and they depending on more fossil and electricity, so they consume more electricity. Actually, when the Bitcoin prices goes down or decrease, it means that miners' revenue decrease and they stop mining, so they produce or they reduce their electricity consumption. As a result, conclusion, I can say the average is about 50% Bitcoin's miners' revenue and Bitcoin electricity consumption. And we can say, depending on what type of energy is very important. If this energy is sustainable energy like solar or wind, it is okay because there is no carbon for it. But if this electricity more depending on fossil resources like Iran, like China, it is really dangerous for also around the world. Cryptocurrencies maybe will be future money. We don't want physical money or dollar or euro. How can I explain in the future? Actually, digital currencies are very important, but cryptocurrencies also must solve their electricity resources. They must more depend on, I think, sustainable energy. Some of the countries we can say, but if you look at the literature, it is really huge different numbers. Some of the articles telling that sustainable energy resources for Bitcoins 30%, some of the articles telling that 70%. Maybe it is depending on the writers' ideas about Bitcoin. Somebody's, I think, they actually, it is very hard to calculate, this depends, but in the future, we will see more resources depending on sustainable energy. For example, Sweden, Corona, it is more depending on sustainable resources. If in the world it has accelerated and like central bank digital currencies and blockchain and more depending on not mining, it could be very green cryptocurrencies in the future.
Thank you very much, Esra, for these details and for giving us a few details about the preliminary results of your virtual mobility grant. And hopefully we will have more in-depth results from you, and we'll also link them with the video on the website of our project. So thank you again for your time and for agreeing to give us these insights in the green fintech and also in your current research.
Wasil, actually, I appreciate your support for these videos and this technical equipment. As I mentioned, I'm listening to your podcasts and they are very useful and beneficial for us. Also, I suggest my students, I have many different courses and also they listen. Thank you very much again for this opportunity for me. And I hope it will be more beneficial who listen it.
Thank you.